Harold, first of all, thanks for the hosting. Second, thanks for noticing that my mic was muted. I apologize, folks, for that. Yeah, apologies. I thought I unmuted my mic. Apparently, I did not. But yes, hello and welcome to the Bill Bear Workshop. My name is Pat Baer. I adjusted this camera angle, and I did that. There was a bit of rush today. Normally, I am close to home doing errands and such, but today I had stuff to do. I went to a thing we'll talk about later on, during the stream probably. Dude Wants His Rug is here. Hi, Dude Wants His Rug. Throwing the Bear Cave emote in there. Yeah, if you're a subscriber, throw that Bear Cave emote in there. And the person that renewed their subscription, if you want to throw that notification that you renewed, you're more than welcome to. You don't have to. It's always nice when people do, so I know who it is, and we can all say thanks. But there's J-Man with the subscription resub. That's 8 months. Thank you so much, Jam or J-Man. Uh, thank you. Appreciate it very much. But yeah, thanks for the renewal. Always appreciated. Irambina's here. Hi, Irambina. Happy to have you here. Great crew already. It's gonna be a good night of building. Working on this F91, the F91. You can see here right here. So this kit, I after it's done building, I will do a comparison with another master grade of this, 2000 mid to late 2000 teens, so you can see that this is a small kit. We already can tell as we're building it that the head felt a little small. That is the idea of the 91, was that it was a smaller kit on purpose. The Gundam was smaller, so like that's fine. It's just been a little tough to work with. But we're getting to the legs, which shouldn't be too many tiny pieces, because we did all the upper body now. The F9X Gundams got hella radiators, says Ultron. Hi, Ultron. Yes, the lightning thing. Apparently, there's an aftermarket, like, official kit you can get that has, like, LED lights you can rig up. But yeah, it's got a lot of ventilation. That's part of this thing's deal. Front ventilation, back ventilation. This thing heats up, which is smart. Better to have proper ventilation than run into some problems, with your heat building up. That's not good. It's not good at all. Um, we'll talk about it when we get to the building. But today I went to the Kickstarter offices here in New York. There was a small talk. It was the Satire and Humor Festival. Is a very small new festival that started last year, and they did like a talk, which was some Kickstarter stuff and some like conversations with smaller satire websites, and it was kind of cool. Um, it wasn't necessarily the focus wasn't necessarily on marginalized groups that have that are kind of branching out into satire, but those were the people that were there, and it was a cool chat. I rarely make it out to the Kickstarter offices. It was fun to go there today, and my friend Taylor works there, and it was nice to see him. He put it on, did a presentation. We'll talk about that tonight because there's some interesting stuff that folks who are creators would probably want to know. Um, Especially since there's a good chance many of you have backed things, be it video games or tabletop games or technology. Um, and it was kind of interesting. Um, oh yeah, so talking about the vents, there's also these. The last thing we did was put on these cool little side vent things. It's pretty fun. This is a fun kit so far. I look forward to continuing to work on it. I hope you're all having a good uh, day, evening, whatevs. A little water before we get going. Uh, oh, we got going on here. Oh, Jam just subscribed with Twitch Prime. Thank you very much. We had J-Man and Jam subscribing today. Also, J-Man. J-Man's great. VT J-Man, great. Jam, that's 19 months. Thank you so much. Uh, Thank you both very much for renewing your subscriptions. Always appreciate it. And letting me know. Um, uh, this is the last stream of June. So someone who is a subscriber is going to win two model kits. That's right. It's a model kit and a Lego set. It's the Jakku Jumper hover thing, which is a small Lego set, and the high grade exam, which is a small, because it's a high grade, model kit. So I figured I'd pair those two small things together, send them out. Iron Beat is having a pretty good weekend here, really enjoying the new Final Fantasy 14 expansion. I've heard good things about it. I've heard that some changes were really appreciated. So I'm glad you're enjoying it, Iron Beat. Uh, today was a busier day than normal for a Saturday, like I said, because I was going to a thing. Anyway, it's high time we go overhead. I will be doing that giveaway to a subscriber that picked at random from my list of subscribers, which I will do at 10 p.m. Eastern. So about an hour from now, when we take our break, I'll get into building. Anyway, we've got the legs to build. Should be pretty straightforward. I don't remember there being any tricks. Too much of this. The side, the skirt area has a few odd pieces to it here and there, but considering this kit doesn't have like many connectors, or it doesn't have any rubber connectors, I should say, it's pretty straightforward. Um, so we can get to building. But yeah, so I spent the afternoon at the Kickstarter offices, which I was very pleased to spend some time there. Um, yeah, it was the talks were on like applying for and starting, like or submitting to satire, stuff like your Onions, your McSweeney's, your Hard Times, that kind of thing. Uh, and it was cool to like be in a room with a lot of people that had some people had some really smart questions, some people had some things that you were like, oh no, you're not ready for this talk. There was a good talk on Kickstarter and comedy specifically. My friend Taylor is the outreach person. So basically, the major categories you see on Kickstarter: film and theater and technology and video games and games in general. Um, uh, all have their own like either teams of evangelists or outreach or an individual, and their jobs are like reach out to people that are looking to start projects or people that have projects and have questions or want help. Taking the next level. Maybe they had a failed project in the past or are looking for just tools. And it's interesting to talk to someone who spends their days working on comedy projects and helping people out to make it work. And that's everything from like, I want to make a short film. I need $600 for a location rental, or hey, we want to bring back Mystery Science Theater. It's those kind of like wide range of projects that my friend Taylor has worked on facilitating. And so it was interesting to hear his thoughts. The major thing he said, which mirrors my own experience, so it was interesting to hear someone say it, was so most comedy projects, most projects that are, I want to make a web series, I want to make a short film, I want to submit to festivals and I need money for submission fees, that kind of thing. Most, if not all of those projects are funded by friends, relatives, um, your communities, people you were on an improv team with, coworkers, people you went to high school with, that kind of thing. It's people that you're making a project, you're putting the project on Kickstarter, you're bringing people to Kickstarter to give you money to do your project. That has been certainly the case with my two comedy projects, which were me raising money to go to PAX, PAX South, and then PAX West. When I did Kickstarters for that, that was what I did. I was like, hey, I'm in this festival, or not this festival. In this case, I'm in I have a panel at this convention. I need money to be able to go. You get an HD recording of it, a good version of it, and my second Kickstarter if you gave a certain amount, I gave you a cool nickname. My first Kickstarter, there were two people that got to pick. One was Harold. Hi, Harold. Got to pick a topic for me to talk about during the panel. And the other one was a crowdfunding effort of giant bombs, Reddit subreddit, um, like pool their money, which was very cool. So it was interesting to hear that. This is definitive. Rarely do comedy projects hit strangers. Now, something like Mystery Science Theater, that's got a huge following of people that don't know them personally. That's a different thing. We want to fund this comedy movie based on this thing that can reach strangers. But most of the time, and a prime example that Taylor gave was, and you might not know this, that the Comedy Central show Broad City started as a web series. You can find them, all the episodes of the web series. I'm in one of them. You can barely see me, but you can definitely hear me in one of those episodes. I'm in the TV show as well, very briefly, but I'm in one of the episodes. So I am. They tried to do a big, high-budget finale for the web series. They tried to raise a bunch of money on Kickstarter to shoot this finale and have locations and a big cast to do this whole thing and really blow it out. They didn't succeed. And then, years later, they would sell their pilot to FX, who then ended up passing on it, and then Comedy Central picked it up and they made the show. But that's like a show that's like, yeah, unfortunately, or fortunately, most web series are just like, they asked for more money than their friends, and people they went to summer camp with and still keep in touch on Facebook were interested in giving. They just outshined it. They didn't reach enough strangers. Now, if you take that, right, that's comedy, okay? Sometimes stand-up comedians that people know do a big nonsense project. The example that was given was Kurt Braunholer asked for, I think, like $6,000 to hire a skywriter to write silly phrases in Over the Skies of L.A. And they were documented, and it was a whole thing. And then he had things where, depending on the level of money you gave, you could vote on what got written on the skywriting thing. And that, because it was a unique, interesting, comedic, performance art piece, strangers were willing to give money to that. They might not have known Kurt. They might not have heard him on a podcast or seen him in various, small things, or went to his very good stand-up show that he hosted. Why would they know him? But the story, the idea of it was enough that they were like, okay, I'll check that out. I'll go see what that's about. I'll give money to that. This seems like a thing I will put some money towards. My friend Zach has done similar nonsense things where he's done the 0.2 mile marathon, a marathon anyone can run. He's done a few big. He did a festival thing where it was so you can put your name on a festival. Anyone that applied got into the festival. There was no real festival. It was a thing that just existed. Weird stuff like that can make the money that you need to do it on Kickstarter, but it's harder. Now, let's juxtapose that with tabletop games, specifically. Video games in general, but tabletop games. You have an idea for a module for Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition, right? You've got a cool idea. It's a sci-fi, and there are dragons too, and it's real neon, and you got an artist lined up, and they've done some stuff on spec, and they've done some stuff because you paid out of pocket for a few art pieces, right? You want to finish this module. It's 5th edition. You made a bunch of characters. You're going to keep working on it. You've done some of it. You just put it out there of hey, I made this module for 5th edition. I need this amount of money to get it done, and you can get it as a PDF. If I make this amount of money, I'll do a print edition. Cool. Well, what ends up happening is, not all the time, but often, People who don't know who you are just give you money to make it because the community of people invested in tabletop games within Kickstarter, they don't follow links on Twitter from a friend of a friend or a friend. They don't look at a Facebook post and go, oh, cool, this person I know made a module for D&D. No. They go to Kickstarter.com and go to the tabletop section every fucking day and look to see what's new. And they're like, this looks cool, that looks cool. You don't have the license to Batman. What are you talking about? Oh, this looks neat. Oh, check out this art. That sounds awesome. Oh, I read about this on Board Game Geek because it went up yesterday and it's already funded. I'll join in as well. That is most of that category within games. Ultron says, I have been seen. Well, that's what I'm saying, Ultron. Ultron, you are not alone. This is atypical for Kickstarter, but it's very typical for specifically tabletop. You are not alone. There are people who are within that community just want good ideas to get made because it's commerce, because it's not events or it's not pre-selling for a concert or putting on a play. It is, I want to make this thing. Here's a cool thing. You can just get it as a PDF and play it. I have cool ideas. And then people were like, yeah, fucking make your cool idea, dude. That sounds rad as shit. Here you go. And apparently, these are statistics that like obviously, as an employee of Kickstarter is giving me these statistics, so you can take it with a grain of salt if you want to. I don't know why Taylor would make it up, but hey, whatever, caveats and all that. So tabletop is the second best ratio of projects getting funded. The second most of it, like the second best you're going to find. The best is dance. Now, the thing that you have to look at is with dance is if you looked at the dance category on Kickstarter, there aren't a lot of dances. And a lot of the same people are donating to every dance thing. Because dance is as old art, as very old art, it still has patrons. There are still old-ass white people with lots of money that they inherited wealth donating to dance studios and dance shows and making sure that this place has a dance troupe or whatever. So there's still a lot of old money. The community is not necessarily on Kickstarter. But if you wanted to have a successful Kickstarter, statistically, you should do a dance one. And then just below that, you should do a tabletop one. Now, it was very funny because Taylor was telling this audience, myself included this, specifically because he was like, hey, instead of doing a web series or a short film and hoping that your friends are interested in giving you money as a donation, because it's not like you're selling them a product, because the short film is going to go on Vimeo or YouTube eventually. The sketches you're making, the sketch show you're making, the pilot, you're going to put up on the internet. So you're getting it no matter what. It is like donating money to a cause. You might as well do a GoFundMe or something instead of a Kickstarter. Instead of doing that, Taylor was like, if you have interest in doing anything in tabletop, you should. Because there's a lot of love and dedication and earnestness in the products, but there isn't a lot of comedy in there. And so if something was like actually funny and interesting, it could do well. which is also in line with like my personal experience, which is obviously uh, I had a lot of fun, and I have a lot of fun doing panels that are comedic at a video game convention. I have done pretty dang well at video game conventions uh, doing comedy presentations, like because I'm not competing against some other comedy things, and I'm good at it, and I get good guests and work hard and all that. But like, yeah, I instead of competing, trying to do my pretty funny, interesting, cool panels at a comedy festival, I'm doing a comedy thing where my competition are people who are fun and sometimes very funny, but often not funny. And certainly, I will say this: I don't think anyone works as hard as I do to produce the panels that I produce. I have gotten lots of feedback from many, many people that I am very professional comparatively, which makes sense because it's shit I'm good at, and I take pride in that. So I don't know. Overall, it was a really interesting day. I think the Kickstarter stuff was really interesting and kind of eye opening. This is not me announcing that I'm doing anything on Kickstarter. I certainly have the free time for it, but I do not have an interest in doing anything. I always said, and of course I ended up slightly breaking that by doing a GoFundMe this year, but I was like, I am done crowdfunding trips to go do something cool. Of course, unfortunately, financial obligations meant that I had to open up the possibility of that, and I did GoFundMe, but it wasn't a Kickstarter. At the very least, I did not do a Kickstarter this year. Um, but my main goal is to, if I ended up doing one, it would be a um, it would be like some kind of cool project, like a physical project, a product. I would make something myself or with a team or whatever. I think that's the next logical step for what I like to do and what I'm interested in doing. Ultron says, I feel like half of the tabletop Kickstarters are Cthulhu related. Most of those don't look great, but giant green octopus headed monsters sell. Certainly, there's always looks for that. Also, when you are doing Cthulhu and when you are doing things of that nature, you are not paying any licensing. I'm sure there's also a lot of Sherlock Holmes type stuff because you don't have to pay for it. That's always, in my opinion, going to be popular is stuff that you can just do and not worry about it. But yeah, Eldritch Horror is popular and cool, but like I think you could do stuff like if you wanted to make a D&D module and do a cyberpunk D&D like thing, people would be like, take my money. If you want to make a tabletop game that is like the main thing is like, yeah, if you want to make something and you think you can do something cool, Kickstarter has opened up that market, the demographic, to make them. And sure, is that going to change? Certainly. I don't know when. I don't know if there's definitely a bottom of the market. I don't know if that is approaching or approachable or anytime soon. At a certain point, people who keep buying these games are going to stop doing that or stop as much. The nice thing is that because they aren't making millions and millions of dollars. Oh, no, sorry. I'll pull this back. Some of them make a lot of money. Here's the actual thing. The actual thing that helps out. There is not an industry of coverage around tabletop games writing articles about the tabletop games that fail. And that is the difference between tabletop and video game Kickstarters. Because I'm not the first person to say this, I'm not the last person to say this. If a game gets funded on Kickstarter and comes out, that is not news. And we forget that they were Kickstarter games. Instead, they're just good games. Um, there was a game that made everyone's top 10 like last year, right? I'm gonna I'm gonna look this up. What was that game that was kickstarted last year? That made I can't remember. Was it? I think it was. Uh, Look this up. Sorry. I'm trying to remember. Was it? Oh no, maybe it wasn't. It wasn't that. It was. Was Into the Breach kickstarted, or is it just that it's the FTL people, and that's what I'm thinking of? I'm gonna look this up. Everybody, take a deep breath. Uh, let's see. Was Into the Breach kickstarted? They didn't. Okay, so I'm wrong. Into the Breach is just the same company that did FTL, but that's what I mean. FTL is a Kickstarter success. But for a lot of people, FTL was just a good game that came out and people played. Um, and I think that is a thing, a huge benefit that um, that tabletop has is there's like if a tabletop game doesn't get made, the people have to abandon the project. Like obviously there are some of these are way smaller scale, but the ones that are big scale, it it makes the rounds on on forums and discussion, but most likely there isn't going to be a whole hoopla around that. Whereas if if they abandon a game on Kickstarter, the video game, I should say, then that's probably going to make the rounds and people are going to be talking about it and writing op-ed pieces if it's a really big game about how the industry's dead. FTL was one of the first ones I backed. What a great game. Indeed, Ultron. It is a great game. Um, I mean, it took forever to come out, but like, I thought Double Fine did a great job with Broken Age. Um, I am now looking to see what video games I backed on Kickstarter. Uh, I forget what I backed. Some of which I have backed never came out. Now as far as Kickstarter goes, I've backed a lot of some tabletop stuff, a lot of comic collections. The last like bunch of things I did were a friend of mine does a web comic, and every year he puts out a new volume, and I pick it up. But let's see. I got an enamel pin from Double Clicks. Yep, that's done. Uh, Waiting to get my copy of I Know Catherine the Log Lady, which I'm very excited about. That looks cool. I think they're doing the festival circuit, so that's why I haven't yet. In Human Conditions, but that's not supposed to be out till September, so we'll see. Let's see. I got that. I got that. I'm looking for the last like game thing. I mean, okay, so here we go. The last time I put money down towards a video game was Butt Sniffin' Pugs, which estimated delivery was January 2018. Hasn't happened. They got married. They got a kid. That game, supposedly, they're still working on it, but I'm not expecting it. I'm not expecting to ever play Butt Sniffin' Pugs outside of maybe playing another demo someday down the road. But that's part of it. That's part of the whole thing. The last board game I backed was Humans Being, an improv card game. And I backed that, and I got that copy. But yeah. Banner Saga was a big one for me. Sorry, Banner, yeah. Urban says, I'm looking back at mine right now, and I see a hard swing on my back history where after Battletech, everything I backed became tabletop games. But also, like, I mean, there are success stories, right? Look, sometimes there's delay. Slap 45 is the game that I always use as my cautionary tale. That is an incredible game that I really enjoy. But they ran into an issue of distribution where one of the boats from China, because literally that's how a lot of people get their games, is that they get them made in China and then shipped on boat to distribution channels. Um, One of the boats was damaged, and so everything was backlogged. And they had Gen Con coming up, and they had a table at Gen Con, so they just got some copies flown out so they would have some for the table. So some people were able to walk up and get their game before people who had backed them got their game. And that sucked ass. That's my last, most of the time it's just like, hey, we got delayed. Hey, we, our artist got busy with their day job. Our artist quit, or manufacturing got expensive. Turns out glass cases cost more money than we thought they would. Um, my favorite horror story from Kickstarter is Anamanaguchi. Anamanaguchi are full of great people in that band. I haven't seen Pete in a long time, but Pete, and I are friendly, and we are certainly good dude. Don't want to say ill about them. They ran a bad Kickstarter. They basically ran a Kickstarter that was cool. That was like, hey, we have this album. It's done. We want to make music videos for the album. Give us money. And they did make music videos for the album. And they're all very fun and cool. The one where pizza, they literally have a slice of pizza in a balloon break Earth's orbit. And they have a camera attached to it so you can see the slice of pizza. It's fucking rad as shit. They did some cool videos. I'm a big fan of that. They also thought that they could save a lot of money by doing one batch of sending out all of the rewards. So they were like, we're going to get all the rewards made, we're going to have them all, and then we'll ship them all out at once. So if you backed and you just get a t-shirt and a poster, we'll send them out at the same time that we'll send out the 300 USBs with all our music on it, and the 50 NES cartridges that or whatever, and the 25 glow-in-the-dark vinyl records, or whatever number of vinyl records they made, right? Well, you know what happens to them? The company that was going to make their vinyl records was backed up because vinyl records became popular, hugely popular for the hipster-ish market. So suddenly they got delayed. And then the people that were supposed to make their records went out of business. So they didn't get made. So it took a long time to get another company to do it, and it was this whole thing. And even though the album was out and done and I had listened to it, it took like a year to get the rewards for a thing that was done because they didn't use they tried to do it all themselves because they were in their early 20s and not thinking properly and are not business people. They're nonsense dummies. Complete and total nonsense. Lovable, wonderful folks, but what were they thinking? But it was really interesting to see them watch them screw up royally. It's one of the reasons why in any crowdfunding thing I've ever done, I've never done physical rewards. They've all been digital rewards because physical rewards have to be mailed. And then that's bad. The amount of, after PAX Unplugged, when I did a very small run of whatever shirts we had left over that we can't sell online, the video game shirt, the Bullet Club parody video game shirts, I can't sell those online, so we did the like send me money or send me a message on League of Heels. Let me know your size. If I have it, we'll sell you. I had a bunch. I think we sold like 12 shirts that way, and 3 of them were a problem. We had to refund like 2 people. Like one came back, and I had to resend it. It was like very small, but the percentage of fuck ups was outside of the area that I wanted to deal with. And hopefully, I'll never do that. Never have to do that again. If we sell stuff, it'll be through a store or like, you know, progresslingtees.com/League of Heels. We don't have to deal with that stuff. We get far less by doing that, but we have an option. We have somebody do it for us, which is the way to go. If I ever did anything, I would try to. Oh, yes, fulfillment shipping is an absolute nightmare, says Irabina. So, yeah, that's the real thing. Like, hey, if I ever do something, League of Heels, Pat Baer, anything, if I ever did anything, like Build with Bear Workshop related, if I ever did anything where I had to send things out, I would use, if I did Kickstarter, I would definitely have Backer Kit just do it for me. I would do a third party middleman. Here's the information collected. They send stuff out. They receive things back. I lose money that way, but that is taken into the amount of money I raised because of that. No way would I do it myself. Fuck that shit. I ended up in poster tube hell helping out a friend once, and woof, that's a whole special misery all its own. Yeah, I mean, like going to the post office, like those shirts, I brought like 6 of them, and of course there was only one machine. I had to go through and do this whole thing, and it was all kinds of bullshit. I don't want to do any of that. If you are going to PAX Unplug, not PAX West, I should say. If you're going to PAX West this year, ask me for a Bear Cave pin, which is the Bear Cave emote that I'm putting here in chat. And I'll give you a Bear Cave pin because I have buttons with the Bear Cave logo on it. I don't have the other ones on there. I might do that at some point. That's like the closest thing to merch I have is a button with the logo on it. Which some months, not every month, some months if I have them, I will send out with, the shipping. Like the fact that, I'll say this, he's not here tonight. Incredibly sportive person, has bought stuff here. Great in chat. Brown Lantern. We like Brown Lantern. Brown Lantern is great. Brown Lantern won the 2 Lego sets in March. I have sent that kit to him 3 times. Those kits to him 3 times. Brown Lantern lives, I will not say, obviously, any pertinent information. Brown Lantern lives in a state close to New York. Brown Lantern is not far away from me. And it's incredibly frustrating. Brown Lantern has a P.O. box that I'm sending stuff to. Not even a house or a business. I'm trying to send things to a P.O. box, and I did it 3 times. I really hope this last one is the charm, because I do not want to do it again. Okay, sorry. Very, very frustrating. I like sending things to y'all, and I'm grateful for the support y'all show me and give me. But, whoo boy, I do not enjoy sending things to the post office. It would be great if I didn't have to do that as much. So, hopefully, whoever wins tonight, knock on wall, will be able to just receive it right away without a problem. Hopefully things sound okay tonight. I didn't say this up top. I should have said this up top. Hopefully everything sounds all right. I have a window open and another air unit going because I was setting up, but I haven't been home today. So when I got into my apartment, it was brutally, brutally hot, and I was just like, what if I had more fans going than I normally would for a stream. So I think it's okay. I mean, no one's Hey, if it is bad, y'all have been very quiet about it, so I appreciate that. Um, Luckily, there hasn't been like a lot of street activity, which you could get. I don't hear any fans crank it up. Thank you, Ultron. Yeah, no, they're at a low setting. It's just really the window, like having a window open is always a bit of a risky thing. It's like right over there. Um, but the hope is that it means that I I can breathe a little better. But I appreciate that, Ultron. Yes, overall, good day at Kickstarter. Good talks. Learned a lot. I'm trying to think if there are any other horror stories about fulfillment stuff. I mean, mostly it's just like, I mean, there's one that happened that I don't blame the person for. There was a person that was going to make something very cool that got a lot of very small, like just like I want to make this thing. Just seemed like a nice person, but unfortunately was trying to make something feminist and was got railroaded just trying to make a cool little card game or a little thing, a card thing, but just got like harassed, and then eventually was just like, I'm not gonna do the project. That's okay. And I'm still waiting on, like I said, I think I'm only waiting on 2 video games, but who knows if those will ever happen, and it's a bummer. And I'm waiting on it. Also, like waiting on Inhuman Conditions, but the people that have made it uh, have a great track record, and I also know some of them personally, so I will go and annoy them if it's whatever. Tommy got married like a week ago, so and like I said, the due date on that is like soon, so it's not like they're really delayed. Sometimes it's like with board games, it's just that they prototyped like the box and then they built off things and now the box is too small and they're like, "Oh, shit, of course we added a bunch of cool things because we got more money and now our box isn't going to work." Oh, we fucked this up. Like that happens. I don't know. It's all part of the process, right? Inhuman Conditions is outstanding. Played it at Chuck's last year and had a great time. Yeah, it's really good. Um, I didn't play it at PAX Unplugged this year, but I played it previously and really liked it. In the I played it, yeah, the previous PAX Unplugged in the very earliest of demos of it when they were still figuring it out and loved it. So when it was available on Kickstarter, I backed it immediately. It's a really interesting idea. It's basically the Turing test. The one of you is a detective or an investigator. The other is either a robot or a human, or a human that believes they're a robot, or various other versions of it. And it's just based on cards, and you're doing investigating, and it's a little Blade Runnery. It's cool. It's a cool game. I'm interested to see all the various ways that people are going to play it. I'm looking forward to picking up a copy, getting my copy sent to me, I should say. But yeah, it's a cool game. And Tommy is 1/3 of the not the cards, Secret Hitler team, along with Max and Luke. Ukraine. All right. So, I haven't really been talking about the kit and what I've been doing with the kit because it's been pretty straightforward of a build so far. I'm just working on the leg stuff. It's like, yeah, connect this piece with this piece, connect this with this. The sizes are fine. Rain says, Pat, any Gunpla Kickstarters you know offhand, any sort of building assembly that's not a card game or tabletop? So, Rain, I'll say, know. I don't pay attention too much to the technology and building side of Kickstarter. Um, so I don't have a good answer for you. I know that a lot of people work in or work in the kind of larger field of doing like there's a lot of work in like 3D printing. I don't know if there's a lot of like we got the license to this old mecha thing and now we're gonna make something for it. So so I apologize that I don't have a good answer for you. Um, uh, yeah, because that's just not a thing that I kind of keep an eye out. I mostly do, you know, or exclusively pretty much do license things that exist in the world that are done, by Bandai. Uh, there was an Aegis that came out if you like Voltron style robots. Ooh, Ultron. That does sound cool. The big ones I'm waiting on, it says Ultron, is the Lancer RPG and the Branson Reese comic, Dracula Gate. There's a Millennium Blades and Street Master expansion. I got two, but they take a good while to come out. Yeah, I mean, sometimes they just take a long time. Occasionally it's like, you know, often real life gets in the way, uh, with those things, or like this game was or this board game was all but done, but now the tariffs are up, and so we have to wait for. We thought we could front the money ourselves and wait to get the money from Kickstarter. Now we have to wait for Kickstarter to be done processing because the money is too much for us to handle ahead of time. Because some people think they can just do that, so they like make it so like the date delivery date is like 2 weeks after the Kickstarter ends because they're like, well, we'll pay ourselves back with the Kickstarter money, and it's like, yeah, don't do that. Wait till you have the money. Don't make those promises. Stuff happens. Um, you see some resin models, says Urbina, but snap fit kits are hard to come by. The injection mold tooling is ruinously expensive. Yes, indeed, and ill-suited to filament qualities. Yeah, I would say, Urbina, that's a fair take on it. That you might see some garage kits here and there, but you're not really going to see full-fledged productions of things on Kickstarter. I know that there was a company that does like aftermarket modifications of Transformers. Like if you want one of the jets that isn't out yet, here's the kit you get. If you want the More Than Meets the Eye comic version of this thing, here's the kit. And I know that there was a group that was doing that started doing it on Kickstarter as fulfillment, um, because they would already run through their site. So I know that like sometimes those folks exist and will do like a small run, uh, and just hoping that no one gets mad at them for their small run. And sometimes people don't, and sometimes people do. It all depends on what you're doing, really. Oh, it's just a tabletop game. Yeah. Yeah, no, Rain was looking for more like model kit stuff if there was a model kit market or like snap kit market on uh, Kickstarter. Yeah, I think the margins just aren't there to be able to do it. Oops. All right. Assembling these pieces here. These are things that are going to like fan out of the leg or the back of the leg here as we slowly start putting things together. We're going to get so farther with our legs now. We're going to E, B, and D. We'll take a break in a couple minutes and do the old pause of the cause. Then I'll pick the winner of this month's bonus. Uh, who wins the Lego set and the model kit, and Thank you so much for those that are subscribed. But yeah, we'll take a break in a moment or two. Just gonna keep working on these legs. Yeah, it's fun to like. It isn't fun, but every once in a while, it's good to look at like crowdfunding and be like, is it still a thing I want to do? Is it still like how where I want to put my money? Because it's tough. It can be very expensive, and it can feel bad. Obviously, there is a risk. There's always the risk, even with people who have like been successful in the past. Like there's always the chance that like, well, this is money I'll never see again. It's just such a fucking bummer. Or you get something like a game that came out last week or this week that the Switch version is just not up to snuff, and that's just like, what can you do about that? Like, you paid for the game, they just didn't make the they just didn't do a great job on the Switch version. Shit, that sucks. It really fucking sucks. Like, I don't know. It's like, yeah, the game's done. It's just not what you wanted. You could back Mighty Number 9 and feel real bad about it. Like me, says Ultron. Yeah, Ultron. Um, I saw the trailer for Mighty Number 9 and was like, no thanks. Um, so I did okay. The kick that video. That video was like, oh, some of this seems cool and some of this seems lame as shit. So I was very happy to not back that project. Mistakes were made, says Ultron. I mean, yeah, I mean, that's just, I backed a tactical RPG, a JRPG style game, not made in Japan, tactical RPG that I paid for because a friend of mine was working on it. And then my friend left that company on very bad terms, and I still got the game, and I have never played it because I was mostly helping out my friend so that they could continue to collect a paycheck because the company would exist if they were, working on the game. And then I was like, ah, oh, fuck. Wish I hadn't backed this. Oh, well. I'll never play it because it didn't look that great anyway. I don't know. It looked all right. I backed that too for the same reason, says Iron Bina. Yeah, I mean, it's possible. There was another one that a friend worked on that seemed very cool, and I just didn't have the money at the time. And then later turned out to be really awesome, and I was like, oh. But yes, I have certainly both previously backed something just because a friend was working on it, and then, never mind. Wish I had not. Pardon the yawn, folks. All right. Okay, so we are building up our legs here. Gonna put this down here. This is not rubber, it is plastic, which, it's doing the same job a plastic piece would, or a rubber piece would have done, but it is not rubber. Just weird, a little unusual. So we got this thing goes here. And these pieces are going to fit in almost like a wedge type deal, looks like. Let's see. Thing about last night. Alright, put that there, put that there. Put this here, okay. Alright, we got most of this. This piece likes to pop out. Hopefully it'll be okay when I connect it. G315. Ooh, this is a lovely color. I think this just looks so nice. This is for the like whole like lightning engine kind of thing going here. Hello, Surfing Ninja. Happy to have you here. Welcome to the stream. We'll finish off this full leg and then go back, or most of this leg. A lot of layers to this, but let's see. Make sure that we're putting this in right. The big shame about this is that this piece is covered. Like you'll see it. Like it is viewable, but I do think that it is hidden, behind everything, and that is a shame. Like that looks fine, but it's like too cool of a color. Oh well. What are you gonna do? All right. So connect that, and then this goes. Just put on that there. This goes like this. All right, and then we've got a D17. Okay. Yeah, so this piece definitely likes to keep popping in and out, so hopefully it will stay once we put the rest of this on. Goes like this. Oops. Did immediately popped out, which is annoying, but luckily we didn't snap anything together, so should go in all right. Oops. All right. So we'll start by that. Every once in a while, I wish I had a third hand, but that one wasn't too bad, so we managed to get it done. All right, and then these go like this. And let's do the same thing on the other side. We just did. All right. Goes like that, goes like that. All right. So we'll finish this part of the leg up, and then we'll do the old pause for the cause. And I'll talk about ways you can support the stream and the silliness that happens here and all that other stuff. Let's talk about that in a moment. First, I gotta make sure I put this on right, which I did not. There we go. All right. But yeah, we'll finish this up. Then we'll do the old pause for the cause. We're going to obviously keep building here. Talk about some anime stuff. It is the end of the season. There'll be some new stuff this week. This is actually pretty nice this season. Sometimes there's like whole week, like a long week where there's nothing that like none of the shows I watch had. But between like mid-season, not mid-season, but like double seasons and a bit of staggering. It was just like I watched less anime on Friday and Saturday than I normally do, but it wasn't like there was still a couple things to talk about, which was neat. So we'll still have that to talk about there. But then a bunch of things start next week, so I'll have things to talk about. I think so. Maybe something starts on Sunday. I can't remember. I'm gonna look up the old, see if they've updated when those things are coming. Yeah. Dr. Stone starts on January 5th, so that's next week. I believe, yeah, something, maybe To the Sacred Beast is coming. uh, soon. Yeah, I don't think it starts this weekend. I think next week is the only one that like people have said like, oh yeah, it's there. And then of course the normal stuff like the normal stuff that's continuing, Demon Slayer and Fruits Basket, and Black Clover. Like there's stuff that I watch that is One Piece that is like continuing, which is cool. To check to see. Oh, and then that's just yeah, that's Friday, and then Saturday is a week from today is some show I don't care about. So I was like, okay, cool. Sometimes it's nice when you're like, oh, I don't care about that thing. This anime seems fine, but I'm not interested. And you're like, cool. I hope it's all right. We do have the last One Punch Man next week will be the last episode of this season, basically of shows, because it was delayed a week due to the French Open. In Japan, it meant it wasn't broadcast, so then that affected streaming services. Which means we are 1 week away from me watching the last episode of One Punch Man, then doing a complete rewatch of season 2, and then canceling Hulu. Fuck off, Hulu. I can't wait to be done with you. I'm so excited that I'm almost done with Hulu. Can't wait to be done with it. It's gonna fucking be awesome, y'all. I'm almost done with Hulu. Here's the thing. I could have paid even more so that I didn't see ads. But I was still paying money, seeing ads, and that sucks and I hate it. Don't like it. And then also, one of the ads that I kept seeing was for a Hulu original series about like a lady who's mean and bad to her kid, and then her kid maybe did some shit, and I was just like, I don't stop advertising this to me. Get this shit out of here, Hulu. I'm never gonna watch this. Fuck off. You may be able to tell. Uh Surfing Ninja says, okay, so the last few seconds were weird. Oh, if you want to elaborate, if anybody else, it was weird for anybody else. How do you really feel about Hulu, says Harold? Oh, Surfing Ninja, I'm sorry if that was weird. I will attempt to explain. Uh, One Punch Man Season 2 is out on Hulu. I don't like Hulu. I don't like using Hulu. I even use Hulu in Firefox because it's bad on Chrome, which could be Chrome's fault and not Hulu's fault. Uh, but yeah, you got some bad internet weirdness. Yeah. But anyway, I don't like Hulu, and I'm excited that One Punch Man Season 2 is wrapping up on Tuesday so that I can stop using Hulu. So I hope that that helped it. Anyway, we're going to take our pause for the cause. This is our break where I give you all ways you can support the stream. I thank you all for doing it. And then I also pick a person that is winning. Do a monthly giveaway to a subscriber. A current subscriber from the list is going to win the Lego Jakku Quad Jumper, which is a cool little Lego set, small, and the Blue Destiny Unit 2 HG, which is the high grade. It's a 144 scale high grade. So since they're both small, I packaged them together in one box. One person's going to win that, which I will announce very soon. First and foremost, thanks for watching the stream. If you're a subscriber, you can throw the Bear Cave emote in there. Let the people know that you are a subscriber. Very much appreciated. Thank you, everybody who is currently subscribing. You're all the best. If you're watching this later on YouTube or my Twitch VOD, please consider becoming a subscriber. You can find information in the show description about how to do that. I also have a Patreon. You could join the Patreon if you want to do that. You're more than welcome to do that. Patreon is cool because the cut's a little different. It's nice. There's some rewards there, and I post like my schedule and all that, and I try to keep people in the loop here as well, of course. But yeah, I have a Patreon. It pays the bills, or it helps with the bills, I should say. I have an Amazon wish list. This kit was bought off my wish list. The next few kits I'm going to be building soon were bought off the wish list. If you want to see me build something on this, I have a bunch of stuff on there. Lego sets, model kits, expensive, cheap as shit. 20 something dollars. That's not cheap as shit, but you know what I mean. Papercraft kits, all kinds of things. Dragon Ball model kits, lots of cool shit. I'm excited to build, and I would like to build, is on there and available for you to purchase, and it'll get sent to me through Amazon through the wish list thing. That's something you could do if you wanted to. Obviously, all that is totally up to you. I'm going to paste the link there in the chat. It's also it's on my Twitter, and it's in the show description on YouTube. All that stuff, y'all know. That's just a way to support me if you're interested. I also have a coffee, and anything I make through my coffee, which is like a donation platform, through that, money I make through Patreon, money I make through Twitch, all goes back in to buy kits and equipment so I can keep doing the stream. Kits are expensive, and so your help goes a long way in that way. But you could also just tell a friend. If you like the streams, if you think you have a friend who likes building or wants to get into building, wants to talk about the summer anime that's starting next week, really wants to talk about Fire Force and doesn't know anyone that wants to talk about Fire Force, I'm going to be watching the first episode of Fire Force. If they're going to be watching Isekai Cheat Magicians and want to talk to somebody who's watching Isekai Cheat Magicians, hey, that's me, Pat Baer. If they're going to watch, keep watching Fruits Basket, and they want to chat with somebody who's talking about those shows, this is the place to be for that. Also a place to be is my Discord. Jump into my Discord. It's cool. The Bill Bear Community Discord is fun. You can jump in there, post photos of stuff you're working on. You can always tweet me stuff, too. If you're building model kits, Santini, who couldn't be here tonight because he's on vacation, Jared, unfortunately, couldn't be with us because internet is bad where vacation is, but send me a photo of a model kit that they're going to be working on during their vacation, which is rad. That's awesome. I really like that. I just checked Twitter, and it looks like people have stopped liking my pretty good tweet from yesterday. Maybe it's finally 357 likes later, which for me is big. That's pretty big. Analytic-wise, that's a lot. That Jeremy Renner does not have friends who are honest with him is my tweet, which I think is pretty funny and probably true. Look, does Jeremy Renner have a decent voice? A singing voice? Yeah. It doesn't sound bad. He should put an album out good and have the photos all look stupid and dumb and silly and weird and why? What are you doing? Jeremy Renner, should have friends that say, hey, Jer, because his friends call him Jer. Hey, Jer, don't put out an album. He should have that. And beyond his slut-shaming nonsense and his I'm being paid to focus on the acting and not focus on how much money my female co-stars are making. Dumbness. Whatever. Forget all that. Don't forget that. But put that aside for a moment. He sucks. And also, there's no reason to cover House of the Rising Sun, Jeremy Renner. Why are you covering House of the Rising Sun, Jeremy Renner? What are you thinking? I'm sorry that you do not have friends that care about you. As Ultron says, his friends are pranking him. Nonsense. That tweet did very well. I think it was good, friends good. My friends liked it. But then what happens is every once in a while, someone who follows me, who has a lot more followers than I do, retweets me, and then my mentions are bad for a while. This particular culprit was Mr. Austin Walker. Oof. Harold says, so how do you really feel about Jeremy Renner's singing? Call back. Nice work, Harold. Good callback. But yeah, Austin retweeted it. And so I got a bunch of people who were like, and I always know when someone is looking at it because they follow him, because they also reply to him. And Austin just thought it was good or funny, or in the moment was like, ha, yeah, I was thinking something similar, or whatever he was thinking. Who cares? Who cares? I care, but I care what he was thinking. But you know what I mean. You and I mean by that. I don't need people to be like, well, hey, because the thing that bothered me the most about like, hey, if you like Jeremy Renner or whatever, or you whatever, like, but people were like, leave Jeremy Renner alone, and it was like, why? Did I tell Jeremy Renner to put out that album? No. Jeremy Renner is the person that needs to take care of his own self. Like, Jeremy Renner should be able to handle a little criticism. Come the fuck on. Somebody got very mad at me about it, and it was weird. This is not right. This, you may have noticed, these two things do not look right together. So we got to figure this out. I believe my most popular tweet was, we just passed Taco Bell, now I'm explaining Dan Riker to my parents. That's very good. Some people really like Hawkeye, I guess. Well, Ultron, I mean, most of it is that people like don't pay attention to things outside sometimes, and so like somebody doesn't know that Jeremy Renner kind of was shitty. The thing that really got me was that somebody wanted me to send them links, because somebody said like, Jeremy Renner's never done anything to anybody, he doesn't deserve this, and I'm like, well, one, it's a joke, and two, it's true, and three, Jeremy Renner sucks. Here's reasons. And that person wanted me to send them links. A proof, Pat, where is it? Says Ultron in a joking manner, which I appreciate. And my response is, don't tell people on Twitter to provide you sources. Now, I'm a white male, cis white male. I understand. I'm demisexual, but I present as heterosexual. I understand. I get it. I get it. I've got a lot to answer for. But I don't need to do Google research. Here's a great thing. If you ever want to know about someone, just type in their name followed by bullshit or the problem with blank. And if the problem with blank, you will find a HuffPo article. No problem. Bullshit, sometimes you might find a thread. Like, I found out that there are people out there who think that I stole the idea of doing this stream from Vinny Caravella, which doesn't make any sense. One, because I stole this from Austin Walker. And two, you can't steal a thing that other people have been doing. Like, I didn't steal it from them. It's a thing that exists. People have been doing this. But apparently there is like a Reset Era thread about Giant Bomb, and it is included in there is the belief that Vinny always planned on doing a show just like this, but I stole the idea from him, which is very fucking funny. Because there's no, like, outside of that one video where he worked on Arcade Machine, Vinny has no time for anything like this. And has been in the chat very briefly and was great in the chat. But I'm like, no, y'all, no. I didn't steal this from Giant Bomb. Me doing this doesn't mean that they couldn't if they wanted to. And also, I did a building segment with Dan on the stream, and Abby made her nugget house. And if Vinny had wanted to, he was playing games. If Vinny had wanted to build something, he could have during that stream. I don't know. I just found out about this thread, and it both made me laugh and made me mad, which it shouldn't. It shouldn't make me mad, or it shouldn't make me mad. It should just make me laugh, but it did do both. So that's Nug Queen, indeed, Ultron. But that was pretty odd. I was like, no, that's not. Surfing Ninja says I just saw something fascinating. Okay. Um, Sorry, folks. I apparently put together this wrong, so I am fixing my mistake. Um, but yeah, uh, don't tell people. Like, just Google it. And look, if you can't find anything, if you can't find the information that you're looking for, you're like, hey, I have no idea uh, what you're talking about. I looked it up. I couldn't find anything. Is there like a thread or something? I'm sorry, but don't go. Well, you can't. Surfer Ninja says I just saw something fascinating. There is a bundle of Steam games that contains a bunch of Valve games called the Valve Complete Pack. Okay, makes sense. It is the summer sale is happening, so it makes sense that there would be some Valve stuff on sale. Um, they're doing something. Normally, it would cost over $100. Okay, makes about sense. So, the complete, yeah, it's a lot of stuff you probably own on other platforms, stuff you probably already own on Steam. Makes sense. That if you were like building a new library, right now it's $5. That's let me buy it again money. Like, you know what I mean by that? Like, that's I did not describe that well. That is like, uh, oh wow, I'm gonna have to pick that up. Like, there's two games that I own all these games except for one. I guess I'll just buy it. That's a pretty good deal. $5. I mean, like I said, so you probably own a lot of them already. Uh, Harbortown Hobbies says, my favorite suit. Oh, the 91? You really like the 91? Great. This has been a fun build. I put together part of it wrong in fixing it, but other than that, this has been a fun build. And the head has some tiny pieces. It's a small kit. But this is the version 2 that came out last year, I believe. Um, Lord Crashington is also here. Hi, Lord Crashington. Welcome to the stream. Happy to have you back. But yeah, Harbor Town, I'm happy that you enjoyed this kit. I did almost finish this leg and then realized that I had put together these things wrong. So luckily, it was not hard to fix this, to take it back, to look at it. It was just obvious that I had definitely screwed it up. Surfer Ninja says, testing, testing. If you want a tiny kit, the new RG Crossbone. It's crazy. I've actually, like, me, y'all. I don't pay attention often to, like, hubbub about model kits. I usually just, like, maybe watch a review now and again. But I have heard. I'm sorry, Surfing Ninja, that your internet is bad. Stick with it if you want. If you don't want, this video will be archived on my YouTube tomorrow. It'll be on VOD shortly after the stream is over, if that makes more sense for you. But sorry, Surfing Ninja. Um, yeah, I've seen that crossbone. It looks small, but I mean, like I obviously haven't been able. I didn't grab a master grade to compare this to, but I will grab like the Buster Gundam or something and compare that. But the head is felt pretty tiny. But that's the idea of this kit, right? This kit is supposed to be small. That's part of its thing. It's that it's small. Speaking of small, we got some small stickers got to put on here. We're gonna try. These are tiny stickers. They're gonna go on. You can see here that we have this yellowish gold triangle, and there's a tiny triangle inside it. And we're gonna take a tiny black sticker and put it in that triangle. We're going to nail it both times. I do need new tweezers, though. I need, like, just tinier tweezers because these are just getting bent and old. I've had them since I started doing this, so they're just on their last legs. They're just not as sharp and pointy as I need. They're a little bent. I really need a whole new iFixit kit because my wedge is getting a little old and all that. Like, I just gotta invest in that. All right, we put that in there. There's a new block. You can see the difference between these two. One has a little black dot there, sticker, and one does not. See that there. And now we're going to do the same thing with the other one. There weren't too many stickers in this kit, so it hasn't been too bad. The F91 is essentially all the awesome of the 7.8, a slightly smaller package. Yeah, I mean, all the electricity, like lightning elements of it, I think are great. I think the beam things that... Look, y'all know me. I love lots of weapons on a kit, and I love a good backpack. And this kit has a good, like, weapons are on the back. Weapons fold in, and then you got them like this. So you're like, shoom, boom. I like that a lot. You can see that in the photo on the sides. That they like live on the back and swing up. And I really like that. Yeah. Alright. Tiny sticker has been applied on both. And we need E1. Then we got to put the front triangles on. A little easier, a little bigger. Variable, yes, the variable speed beam rifles, indeed. Because there's the beam bazooka, which is cool. There's the variable speed beam rifles. There's a regular old rifle. This kit's got some good stuff. It's got the energy shield. You see this on, the arm there. And then you can put the energy shield on there. I love that. Always love that. Headpiece does not like to stay. I might tack that together, or use a little glue or something. And then, oh yeah, this is a cool kit. It's been fun to build. I also like that it was described the cockpit as being like a hamster wheel because it is a ball. I like that. Me, I also enjoy a cockpit that pulls out of the kit and is some sort of speeding vehicle. I love that. But you can't always get the core unit, the core landers like that. Not every kit's going to have that. It's a shame. All right, let me, first and foremost, hey, everybody that's watching, thanks for joining in at this late hour. We got about another half hour of building, working on our F91. Appreciate you're here. It's the second hour of the stream, which means that we talk about some anime. I only have 2 shows to talk about, though, right? It's not going to take long to talk about anime, because this is the end of the spring season, beginning of the summer season starting next week. So we are in a bit of a lull as far as new shows. Most new shows are going to start next week, so they just kind of ended this week. But there's still a couple things to talk about. Fruits Basket is ongoing. We met the brother, the quote-unquote the brother we didn't know about, which is just a character they just hadn't introduced yet, and he's weird. But he's not weird, but he's weird. And it's a whole thing, as always, because it's a funny drama, so everything is too much. I like Fruits Basket. I don't necessarily love every element of it. I think I love that it's back. I love that they're doing a faithful recreation of it, that the manga artist is fully supporting. Because it's a 2001 originally show, so I love that it's back, but I think I love the idea of it more than the actual show. It's kind of how I'm feeling. I dropped one of my sheets, so I got to go wheel and get that. Hold on. I'm back. I dropped this. I need it. I'm gonna drink some water. Hey, maybe you should have some water. Maybe it's been a minute. Ah, H2O. Helpful. Um, I've been watching Eva for the first time since its Adult Swim run, and about halfway through, and dreading when it gets weird. Lord Crashington, you speak as if it wasn't weird from the jump. It gets weirder and debatably worse, bad, different. The creator gets more depressed as it goes, certainly. His own real life. Surfing Ninja is now on their phone. Welcome back. But yeah, I'm not rewatching Evangelion. I have watched that show through that show before. I have feelings about that show. At the time, I was happy to have a look. There are people that don't want to classify it as a mech show, and the people that don't want to classify it as a mech show, in my opinion, are people who don't think that mecha anime can be dramatic and psychological and interesting. So they want to put Eva on a pedestal and say, "Oh, that they're not mechs." Uh, um, so don't call it that. That's not what they are, which is bullshit. Neon Genesis Evangelion is a mecha show. I like the way it's weird so far. Makes it more than a kaiju mech show. Yes, I mean it's also there's a kaiju element as well. Then it goes off the deep end, and that's where I remember doping out of it. Yeah, it does. Server Ninja, I don't know exactly where you can get an RGM 79 kit. I'll do the look to see if you can get it on Gundam Planet, which is where I used to buy all my stuff before I started streaming, and now I get almost everything on Amazon. Uh, but let's see. I'm watching through it with my wife, who doesn't normally watch the animes. Says Bald Ridge. Okay. Uh, so you can get the RGM 79G, the GM command, and the ground type, and the sniper, which is sold out. Looks like, or out of stock. No, it looks like. So if you want to get the ground type, uh, there is a ground type you can get um, on Gundam Planet, and there's a sniper version you can get, the master grades. So some of them are available on GundamPlanet.com, Surfing Ninja. Um, yeah, I mean, look, I just don't have a huge positive opinion on Evangelion. I never was super into it when it was coming out. Um, I always kind of, I might have just pushed back from people who were like, I remember folks that are like, oh, I don't like anime. I do like Evangelion, though. And it's like, because it explores Christianity in a way that anime doesn't. And I'm like, well, first of all, yeah, I mean, no. There's plenty of shows that deal with the subject matter that it does. I think that the art style is interesting. I think the Evas look cool, and I think that the kaiju design of the angels is really um, gross in a way that I like. When I say gross, that is a compliment. I think they feel like visceral and otherworldly, and I appreciate that. It's cool, not my fave, but up there. Yeah. But I think that it is. I'm trying to figure out how to say this. I think Evangelion is 150% up its own fucking ass, and really thinks it's telling some. Really thinks like I think that Gainax is like, we are telling an incredible story, and I'm like. Meh. I'm like, y'all made His and Her Circumstances. That's a small, incredible story. His and Her Circumstances is a small, little, gut wrenching story. It's fun and cool and interesting. Evangelion is a mess. It's a lot. And I don't know. Gurren Lagann is better than Eva, says Ultron. I did not understand the stuff towards the end. Yeah, there's just a lot going on. Baldridge, I like that. You're just feigning ignorance when she asks you a question because you know. Yeah, she doesn't want you to actually answer it either. Or maybe she does, but. It's a lot going on. Look, am I happy that people who have not seen it in a long time are watching it? Yes. I'm happy when people watch anime. I was thrilled when the Brawley movie did well in the U.S. theaters. I think that's rules. I hope. Hey, actually, I don't know this. Wait. Sorry, I'm looking this up. Is there a U.S. release date for One Piece Stampede? I don't. Well, in Japan, it's August 9th. Is there a U.S. Oh, please. There's. Nah, man. It looks real good. It's the anime's 20th anniversary, and it's like, it is, like, they literally included that, like, the creator of One Piece is like, this seems pretty good. I'm pretty psyched about this one, which some of the movies have not been great. So, the latest teaser of it is really cool. Okay, Hong Kong. There's an Italy date. But yeah, apparently Oda also, yeah. Yeah, Oda was like, I don't, whatever, I don't know. Bullet and start One Piece because there's a lot of show. Bald Ridge, you're not wrong. It's a lot of show. And also, I should say this: almost all the movies are bad. Oh, Surfer Ninja, I'm sorry to hear that they're sold out. You can, if you create an account, you can do a wish list, and I think they email you when stuff is in stock, so you can try that. But obviously, that's not the same thing as getting what you're looking for. So I understand if that is not what you want. It's not the same thing, obviously. Yeah, I mean, look, One Piece is a lot. It's a whole lot. I would say, Bald Ridge, if you ever like, you know what, I want to do this. You go to a YouTube channel called the Grand Line Review. Grand Line Review is a YouTube this person that just does deep dive YouTube videos about One Piece. He has another channel where he does other anime, but his main one is the Grand Line Review. That's his big thing. It's about, One Piece. He has really good, like, this arc in 5 minutes, this arc in 10 minutes. Like, he's got really in-depth videos, but he also has overview videos. And, like, I don't know, watch one of those and see if it's something that, like, appeals to you. I think that, like, sometimes the animation is hit or miss, and often miss, but I think the storytelling overall is really fun, and I really enjoy One Piece. Looks like there's not a U.S. release date for the movie for Stampede, which is annoying. It would be cool if it was, but I can understand why it isn't. So I'll just have to. And unfortunately, it's like Crunchyroll probably won't license the movie. They do on occasion, but I don't know. I'm sure it would because I like shonen stuff generally. I just feel the commitment. I understand Bald Ridge. And, like, hey, the show is old. The first like season is old looking, but it's still really good. And I think that like the story is really compelling and fun, and it's a good adventure, and But yeah, I understand it is a commitment. All right, we are almost done with our legs. Moving right along. When we finish this kit, we will attempt to dry transfer the F and the 91. You can see that in the overhead there. The F91, which, as you can see there on the shoulders, we would put them on the F91. We will attempt to dry transfer because this kit came out last year, so this decal should be all right. But I have never successfully done a dry transfer on stream, and I'll try it. I'll try it when the kit's done. That's all I can say. I'll try it when the kit's done. The other series. Here we didn't do it. Didn't do it during the break. We're gonna do it right now, folks. I am going to look up. I'm downloading the subscriber list right now. My current subscriber list. We are 39 subscribers. Hell yeah, 39. That's my age. And I am going to open up Google random number generator. Google random number generator says Google random number generator picks the name. Your winner of the Lego Jakku Quad Jumper and Blue Destiny Unit 2 exam is Aristofan. Congratulations, Aristofan. You did it. You won 2 kits that I will send in a box to you. You are not here, I don't believe. I will contact you via but in there, I will contact you via Whisper, and I will hopefully you will be like, yeah, here's the address, you can send this, and I will go, cool, doing it on Monday or Tuesday, because it'll be the next month, probably Tuesday. Monday's not fun to ship things and wait in line and do all that, so probably Tuesday. But yeah, congrats, Aristofan. We didn't talk about We Never Learn, which was episode 13, the end of season 1. And I say that because 2 days ago, the day before the episode aired, or 2 days before it aired, because it aired today, it was announced that We Never Learn was getting a second season, and the second season starts in the fall. So it's the same year. There'll be a spring-fall show, which means that they, instead of doing a double, they just did, they didn't stop producing it, basically, which is interesting. Because the 13th episode did not feel like the 13th episode of a show. It didn't feel like an episode where they weren't sure if they were getting more episodes, is what I should say. Because sometimes you watch a show and you're like, this is the end. Okay, yeah, that wrapped up. They have places to go, but that's it. This show was like, I'll see you tomorrow. Like, the last line is like, see you soon. And it's like, yeah. Because they don't solve any of the relationships. In fact, they just give one character. So if you haven't watched We Never Learn, it's cute. It's a romantic comedy show. Premise is a guy who's like smart but doesn't have a lot of money gets a job tutoring fellow students. The first 2 students he's tutoring are brilliant in certain fields, but they don't want to go to college in those fields. They want to go to college in fields that they're not good at. So they need him to help them. And then childhood friend shows up who is good athletically, but not good at any subject. So she needs help. Well, athlete and one of the smart, brilliant girls develop a crush on the dude because, of course, I do. It's a romantic comedy. That's what happens. And then the other brilliant girl is like, I don't have a crush on him. I will, but I can't help either of you, but I know you have a crush on him. So I'll try to help both of you and not take sides, but not tell the other about the crush. You have to deal with that on your own. So it's this whole thing. So it's not a love diamond. It is a love triangle with another person. But hey, guess what? 13 episodes through, over the course of some of those episodes, girl who doesn't think she has feelings for him probably has feelings for him. Also, there's a teacher who's young, like she's just starting out, and she's tsundere about him, and that's weird and sucks. And then episode like 10, they introduce a new character, and you're like, get the fuck out of here. Why are you introducing a new character? And it's but she's like a college age girl, so she's not into him, but she teases him. Uh and it's like, okay. But then also she probably likes him. And it's like, oh, god damn it. Meanwhile, there's like another girl that's like barely in the show that likes one of the girls, and that doesn't go anywhere, and it's fun and fine and like a cute enough show. I'm happy to see more of it, especially because I think it's better than um, the um, the other Tudor show that was on like 2 seasons ago that is getting a second season, the quintessential quintuplets, uh, which I don't think is necessarily, uh, which I think was a worse show. So if that is getting a second season, I'm glad this one is too. I also, like it when shows that I think are fun, you get more of it. Like, I don't think we're going to get more Senryu Girl, but I think Senryu Girl was my favorite show this season. And it's a bummer that I won't get to see it any more of it. So, like, yeah, overall, pretty excited. But yeah, episode 13, there were some moments where with every character, uh, it was the summer festival, so there were Utikas and a Utica thing, joke, and a whole thing. Uh, but yeah, overall, I like the show. I don't love it, but I like it, and I'll watch more of it in the fall. Surfing Ninja found a kit that they're looking for on a link that Ultron sent, which is the RGM79GM, the HGUC Gundam model version, which is the 144 scale, which is the high grade. Uh, um, Look, this has nothing to do with anything. This has to do with 1999.co. It says this item is limited to 3 per household, which I just think is a funny thing. Like, hey, don't buy 100 of these. You can only buy 3 of them. For me, it's just funny to think about buying 3 of anything. Uh, Although apparently people were like, you should buy more than one Leo because they're small and not that hard to build. And I was like, no, I don't need multiples of a kit. But yeah, I'm glad Surfer Ninja you found the link to the kit that you're looking for. Yawning again. Apologies for that, folks. All right. So now we are just putting together the waist of our kit here. Finishing up some sheets. I might at the start of Monday's stream, because my next stream, which will be the 1st of July, July 1st at 9 p.m. Eastern, which is the next time I'll be streaming, I might start the stream by doing the transfer, just to kind of like, because that way I can like take the pieces off and ahead of time and like kind of line things up, and then I might try one of the other pieces or one of the other dry transfer decals and just like test them. But I don't know. I'm just nervous about it because it's not a thing I normally do. Sorry, I'm yawning again. Uh, yeah, I don't know. I am nervous about dry transfers. The link I sent, don't buy 100, but I want to recreate the final battle. They're totally doing that with the, oh yeah, the wing, yes. Yes! Yeah, they want you to buy a bunch of them. Or no, they're selling it like 100 of them, right? They're selling like a whole thing. Yeah, they want you to do that. But yeah, somebody was like, "Oh, you should buy more than one serpent because it's." I was like, "No, the serpent is a fine enough kit. I don't need multiples of it. I don't need multiple Leos. I think it's fine. Everything is fine. We'll just buy what's available, buy one of, build it, enjoy." Uh, do, 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 do. I am also going to be streaming. Um, my streaming schedule next week is July 1st, normal stream, 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. Eastern Time. Uh, Monday night, normal stream. Tuesday night, uh, at 9 p.m. Eastern on Tuesday, I will be doing my bonus game stream, my weekly bonus game stream. I am going to be just doing some building and goofing around in Fallout 4. I've never streamed Fallout 4. I've done some videos of it, but I never streamed it. I kind of just want to goof around in that world, build some stuff. I've got a settlement that I haven't done any building in, so I'm going to build some stuff in my settlement. And that's Tuesday, July 2nd. I also have some, America / 4th of July stuff for that. And then Thursday of next week, which is July 4th, I'm going to do a normal stream. So if you take the day off and you go to a barbecue or whatever, 9 p.m. Eastern, come and watch and have that be like the end of your holiday. If you don't have the day off, then it's just fucking Thursday and come watch me stream. I think it'll be fun. But that's next week's schedule, and then Saturday is normal. Originally, I was going to do my gaming stream on Wednesday, but I picked up a shift that I cannot say no to extra work. So I'm going to do that. It's a very short shift, but it is better than $0. So I think it'll be cool. But yeah, so next Tuesday I'm going to do Fallout 4. I have mods and stuff I want to try out. Unfortunately, what I'm gonna have to do is I'm gonna experiment. Right now, even when I do it borderlessly, if I have I have two monitors, right? So one monitor is OBS when I'm streaming. The other monitor is Chrome. It's a bunch of tabs. It's the dashboard. It's information. It's my Google Doc for the links I send. It's a bunch of stuff, right? When I do gaming streams, I have one monitor, which is the game, and the other monitor is OBS, like small, and the dashboard, small, for reading chat and all that. It works well for me. It means that I can play Jackbox games and still read chat and do all that, and it works out okay. But even borderlessly, when I have recorded things and done things in Fallout 4, not streaming wise, it does not enjoy me tabbing out to another window. So I won't be able to do anything like type in emotes or write in chat or anything or go to a website. So what I'm probably going to do is have my laptop. So I'll have the game, I'll have OBS, and then I'll have my laptop, and then I can look that. even if you set the game to borderless window. Rain, that's what it's looked like the last time I attempted it. I have time because I'm not going to stream the game till Tuesday, so I do have time to experiment. But that's what happened the last time I tried. Was even borderlessly, it was still a problem. Hello to Talk Spod. Hello, welcome to the stream. Working on a model kit. We're getting towards the end of the build stream, but thanks for popping in. Yeah, so that is the schedule for next week. I'm excited about that. But yeah, I'm going to experiment because hope you're doing good. I am. This was a fun stream tonight. Y'all were, as always, were nice and chill. Saturday is, kind of a relaxing stream around here. But yeah, y'all were great. And we got a lot done. We got our legs completely done here. We started doing the waist. We're going to, keep working on that on Monday, which is the next build stream. I loved making Gundam models when I was a kid. Yeah, I got into that. Oh, thank you for the follow, Talks Pod. I appreciate it very much. Yeah, I myself personally, I was never really a model kit builder, but when Gundam Wing came out, I bought the Death Scythe action figure immediately, and then I was like, I kind of want to try to build one of these and make a model kit, and got hooked. And then it was a long time before I started doing it again. Took a very long time, real long break on doing model kits because life got in the way and all that. But I'm doing this for a while here on stream and really enjoy it. All right, let's we'll get a little bit more done here before we take our leave for the night. But yeah, next stream will be on Monday. We will continue where we left off here, and I will, as I said, I will attempt to do the dry decal transfer of the F91 onto our kit, because why not? Why not experiment with it? Look, the nice thing about dry transfers is if you really mess it up, you just scrape it off. Just scrape it away and then go, oh, it didn't work. Okay. It's not like you're putting it on crooked and it's stuck there. If you really fuck it up, you fucked it up and you're like, okay, that's the end of that. Hopefully I won't. Hopefully I'll nail it and we'll all be like, ooh, look at that. That looks cool. But who knows? All right. Because we did the one, I've never seen a dry transfer. Yeah. The water, obviously, look, stickers like this are always going to be great and easy to use. The water transfers, I'm getting better at. I did one water transfer on the last thing we built, but the dry transfers are intimidating because what we're going to do is we're going to take this piece here, we're going to cut it out like the F, we're going to place it, just the one piece on there, and then we're going to rub over it with a coin or whatever and transfer it. But what we're going to avoid is touching, because there's this little paper here that protects it. We're going to avoid touching the backside of all this, right? Which is where you transfer. We're going to try to keep it on the paper until we need to transfer it. Whereas that's where I've run into the problem, where I've suddenly scraped away part of the 9 before it even got on there. So that'll be the start of next week's stream. Certainly, yeah. And I think it'll work out okay. But it is always a thing that I'm worried about. But I'd like to, push myself when it comes to these streams. We do a lot more stickers than I used to. We've done water transfer stickers, which I never attempted before in my life, and I'm happy to do that because we did the AE86 from Initial D, and that had some water transfer stickers, and I really wanted to have some of those stickers on the car. And so that was a nice first attempt. I'm feeling pretty comfortable with those. So we should be able to try it. Try the dry transfer on Monday, which I think will be okay. I think it'll be all right. Who knows, though? I'm going to finish this one piece, and then I'm going to wrap it up. One Piece. There you go. But thanks everybody for watching. Remember to follow if you haven't. Tell friends. I'll be back on Monday at 9 p.m. for another month of streaming. And thank you so much for hanging out here. Surfing Ninja. I built the A86. It is you can look it up on, if you want to go to my YouTube, youtube.com/PatBaer. I built the 86 on stream. It was the first time I ever worked on a real car. I've never done that. And it also was a glue kit, which I have not done since I was a child. And we did okay. We did pretty damn great. There's some fingerprints on that glue got on my fingers and then touched the windshield that I don't love, but they're pretty good. I would do another one of those kits. I felt like pretty okay about it at the time. But yeah, thanks so much for watching. I'm going to wrap up. Have a great night, everybody. Thank you for being here. Once again, next stream is on Monday. And thank you very much. Have a great rest of the weekend. Drink some water. Stay out of the sun. And I'll see you next time on the next Build with Baer Workshop. Bye-bye.